I'm Jamie Costello with your WMAR 2 News Update. Housing advocates are warning of an eviction crisis. This as Maryland courts begin to hear delinquent rent cases. WMAR 2 News' Mallory Safaste is helping you rebound, and she tells us how renters can defend themselves in court.
Unlike some other states, Maryland doesn't have an eviction ban. Instead, renters will need to go to court and provide documents showing they can't pay their bills because of the pandemic. Out of a job and on the verge of losing their homes, thousands of Marylanders will soon receive a summons to appear in court.
We expect a tsunami of eviction proceedings over the next several months.
Unlike in criminal cases, people dealing with the civil justice system do not have a right to an attorney if they can't afford one, which is why renters need to ready their defense, starting with the governor's executive order prohibiting evictions while there's a state of emergency.
A judge will not enter a judgment for eviction if the tenant can show that they had a substantial loss of income related to the virus or to the state of emergency.
According to the courts, each judge will determine the sufficiency of the evidence provided. However, when the state of emergency ends, this defense is no longer valid. Rent relief programs have provided access to funds, but not enough to address the overwhelming need. According to a survey by the Maryland Multi-Housing Association, 22% of Maryland renters were delinquent in their payments through mid-August, with 42% of delinquent residents owing multiple months of rent.
And it seems to be the attitude amongst a number of government officials that, well, until we see homeless people, at our door, we're not going to pay attention to this issue. And that's just completely wrong and short-sighted and callous.
He says renters need to call on the governor and Maryland General Assembly to provide real relief, at least through the end of the year. In the meantime, renters need to advocate for themselves or risk losing their homes.
We don't have to do this. People want to pay the rent. No one sits back and says, I can just get by without paying the rent. Everyone knows the rent needs to get paid, but some people are going to need more help paying the rent. And that's the role of government in the middle of a pandemic.
The governor's office has said they expect the moratorium to be in place for the foreseeable future. The Maryland Multi-Housing Association is also encouraging renters to communicate with property owners and managers if they're having a hard time paying the rent, saying everyone loses money in an eviction.
And tenants should talk to their landlords about coming up with a payment plan and having it in writing. There are also a number of legal services throughout the state that can provide free advice and, in some cases, representation. We have all the information on our website, WMAR2news.com/Rebound Maryland. All right, click with us online at WMAR2news.com for updates on top stories and breaking news. Also for news and weather while you're out there on the go, you can download the WMAR2 app in the App Store. You can watch live radar and get breaking news sent right to your phone. Thanks for watching. I'm Jamie Costello.
This WMAR2 News Update is sponsored by Jones Junction,